One story I wanted to share with you guys was when I dispatched a driver from Kentucky that was going to Virginia. The load was a 53-foot dry van load. It was going from Kentucky over to Virginia. It was supposed to be a direct delivery, eastern Kentucky over to essentially western Virginia. It wasn't too long of a haul, but we found one driver that could do it. He was interested in the load. The price that he wanted worked well for us. And it was also direct delivery, so of course there was a premium price, expedited price on this. So the driver, I asked him how many hours of service he had, and he said, he was good to go, no problem, full on hours, he can do it. And he did commit to the load. He provided updates every 4 hours, although we were hoping to get every 2 hours, but hopefully, we were thinking, customer's going to be okay with this. The customer was fine with 2 hours, 2 hours to 4 hours, anywhere in that range. So anyways, he was giving updates. He arrived on time. It was later in the evening when he arrived for delivery. And, he calls me in about 15 minutes after arrival, and he says, I'm not offloaded yet. And I say to him, typically this location does offload in a timely manner, but we'll see what we can do to get you offloaded within 2 hours, in terms of, just from standard delivery procedures at this facility. If for whatever reason it takes longer, of course, he's going to be compensated. And we typically, in the expedite world, after 1 hour, will give the detention that is needed for waiting time. So maybe 2 minutes went by from those first 15 minutes, and he calls back and he says, "Yeah, I'm still not offloaded. If I'm not offloaded by the bottom of this hour, I'm gonna burn this place down, and I'm not gonna wait here all night for these guys to offload me." And I said to him, "Sir, I will do everything I can to get you offloaded." I didn't take it seriously in terms of him actually physically wanting to burn the place down like an arsonist. Nobody would think in that manner. It just seems like a figure of speech. Well, at that moment in time, I had a shipping supervisor call me at this location in Virginia, and he says to me, this guy you sent in, he's waving matches around and he's going to burn the place down, and he's not going to wait another minute for us to offload. So I tried to call him back. He didn't answer. I tried to call back a few times. He didn't answer. Finally, I texted him and I said, "Please pick up the phone. We need to speak about this. We have to talk about how we're going to resolve this." Okay. So he calls me back and he says, "What do you want?" That's what he says to me. And I says, "Okay, sir, I'm trying to do the best that I can to get you offloaded. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not at the facility. If I was, I would have gotten you offloaded yesterday, so to speak, right? So because I'm not there, can you please work with me? Let's try to get this resolved." And he says, "Well, we need to get this resolved because I'm not going to spend another hour at this location." And again, you guys can fill in the blank what he said there. And I was a little bit concerned, like, how am I going to handle this now? I at that time I was newer into the industry, but specifically the customer themselves was someone that was giving me a lot of loads, a lot of loads. And they were feeding my family essentially. At that time, I wasn't yet married. I didn't have kids. So they were feeding my family like my parents, because my parents at that time lived with me. And it was a very stressful situation for me because I don't like the whole, I'm going to burn this place down, I'm going to set this place on fire. That's not really how I'd like it to go. So anyways, I tell him, okay, we have a few options. Okay, one option is we wait until they get you offloaded. I have spoken to the shipping supervisor, and I did. They will get to you before the top of the hour. That's the best that they can do. They will get you offloaded and on your way. So that's option one. In addition to option one, I am also working on a reload from the same facility. A reload heading back towards where you came from initially, which was southern Indiana. So, yes, he picked up in Kentucky, but this guy was from southern Indiana and he was looking to get back that way. And I found him a reload at the same location from the same customer. From the same customer who had this supplier in Virginia that had to get stuff back to southern Indiana. So the guy says to me, well, what's the other option? I said, okay, if you're going to give me a hard time, what could happen is the location could call state troopers. They could do something to escalate the situation. That's not what we're looking for. I'm trying to find a resolution that works best for you. And I legitimately kept it as calm and cool as possible because I did not want to get cops involved or anything like that, right? So the driver says, I'll take option one. And he just shuts the phone off, turns off the conversation with me, cuts the line. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is a little bit difficult to deal with. So after all of that, he got offloaded. Maybe 10 minutes after that, he was already done. The logistics coordinator at the facility did sign the paperwork, and he was ready to get reloaded at the same facility. They even reloaded him before the top of the hour. So before the new hour began, he was offloaded and reloaded. So I called him back and I said, okay, we've got it resolved. Just let me know what the bill of lading number is, the number of pieces, the weight, and you're on your way. And by the way, you can deliver this tomorrow evening. Okay, so you don't have to, drive all night direct. That's not going to happen anyways. Don't have the hours of service to do so. By tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., you're good to go. So this guy got everything that he needed, and I got him a price that was identical to the price going out in terms of rate per mile. Okay, so he was happy from both ends in terms of the price, but he was giving us a very difficult time. And I think that we as freight brokers or people as shippers in the office and things of that nature, dispatchers too, I think it's better if we don't jump to conclusions when it comes to drivers. I think we need to give them the light of day at times. In addition to this, I don't think fighting fire with fire is the best approach. Okay, sure, giving a driver a few options is fine, but where they tell, okay, I'm going to burn this place down, and the first thing you do is you're never going to do another load for me again, you're canceled, we're not going to pay you on this, you're just raising a problem with that kind of jargon. Okay, so try to put yourself in the driver's shoes from that perspective. In addition to this, ask questions, try to figure out what's going on. What is happening. Sometimes it's not the driver's fault. A lot of times it's not the driver's fault, actually. It's more so people that are not moving their legs at the shipper, the consignee. They're kind of just walking around. You'll see sometimes people just chilling, like texting. No one wants to help a driver out. That's frustrating. I understand that. In addition to this, walk a mile in the driver's shoes. Okay, don't just put yourself in a situation where you don't care what the driver's feeling. Show some empathy. Show some empathy for the situation, and you'll be able to resolve any situation. Okay, this story is the first of hundreds of stories I'm going to share on this channel. This is going to be part of a series that I'll start here on the channel. It'll be called Trucking Chronicles. So this one is definitely about the potential burning down of a shipper and how we got it resolved with the driver. So guys, put yourself in the driver's shoes and get to it the right way. Okay, show some empathy, be a human being, and look a man in the eye over the phone, so to speak. Okay, have a man-to-man conversation, and you should be fine. And the driver should calm down normally, like every human being would calm down in that form, shape, manner, and form. Okay. If you found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining in terms of the story itself, give it a like, a comment, and share below. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, write it in the comments below, and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.